Hi guys, welcome back to Overtime Heroics MMA. I'm Martin Hamilton. I'm joined today by professional flyweight fighter Robbie Brown. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
I am good. Does it feel strange hearing professional MMA fighter now, like since you've transitioned?
It does. Like we've been in the gym this week, and we always have little jokes now. Saying, "Oh, you're pro now." It does. It feels weird, but good at the same time.
Yeah, because you fought last Saturday on Cage Steel. You won in the first round via armbar against Warren Mason. How do you feel that fight went for you?
I feel like it went to plan. I made a prediction on a little interview that I done. I said I expect to maul him and finish him late in the first. So I got the late in the first part right. I mean, I didn't mean that as in like insulting Warren. Thinking he's shit. I'm gonna maul him. I just meant it by I've worked that hard. That's what I expect from myself.
Yeah,
Because I did see a status he put in it. I think he took it to heart a little bit, but I didn't mean it as in, your shit, I'm going to maul you. I meant it is an I've worked so hard. That's what I expect from myself.
it's the fighter's mentality, isn't it? Like I feel you kind of need to go out with that mindset, but you're just
Yeah,
going to go in and
definitely.
dominate. Otherwise, you'll not be at 100%. So I think Warren will probably sound better. Don't imagine.
Yes, I spoke to him after, and he's a nice guy, isn't he? So I spoke to him. We're all right. And I think he said he's going to, once he gets his knee sorted, he's going to pop down and get some sparring in.
Yeah,
So
because
that'll be good.
you were doing a bit of talking in the cage. What was that about?
I can't remember, but I keep saying, like, when we're going through my fight, that, like a bit of a Khabib type thing, like where he talks to. I keep saying that I'm going to do that and, like, start telling them, I've got you now, or I'm going to finish you now, or little daft things like that. But I don't know if I did say anything. But if it was, it would have been something like that, because I did hear the comment. I watched it back, and I did hear the commentators say that we're talking to each other, but I don't remember. I don't remember if anything was said, or it might look like we were talking to each other.
That could be it, because that's where I got it from. Because I was watching the fight back this morning, and that was something. I think it was Dominic Gibbs was saying. He was like, "Oh, there's a bit of back and forth gone in the ring. They're having a wee chit chat."
Yeah, because my plan was to tell him, like, I'm finishing at the end of the round. I'm going to get, like, this is it. It's over for you. So it might have been something along them lines, but I just don't remember. Like, I don't even remember how the fight went. Like, I've had to watch it back to realise, how I done.
Yeah, because when you're in there, do you essentially just get tunnel vision then? And it's
Yeah, I've
just
had so many fights, and I get, like, really nervous, and it gets to the point where I don't even hear my corner. So it's literally just tunnel vision. I don't even see the referee. But that was the first fight where I've been able to listen to my corner, follow instructions, and, be aware of everything that's going on. So that was good with it being, a professional fight, and I was that relaxed, where I wasn't in my amateur fights.
yeah. I was going to say, do you feel there's just been a switch that's kind of went in you since you made that kind of transition from amateur to pro? Because your last amateur fight was under was during coronavirus, wasn't it?
Yeah, with it was against Jack Holt on Celtic Gladiators.
Yeah,
And the week before, we were just drilling loads of triangle escapes like that. That's what we were doing the week before. So I had, like, a couple up my sleeve, and then when I got put into the triangle, I just didn't even try to get out. So I just, like, kind of froze. But yeah, I do feel like something's changed in me over the past couple of weeks. Just even the lads in the gym, it's nice to hear they're saying, like, you've got and, like, their compliments, how I've been getting on. So I think that's played a part in it as well, like, mentally.
because that was one of the things that Michael Parkin was saying as well. Because I was talking to Michael a couple of days ago, and he was saying that there's been a huge improvement in you over the last year or two. It's been great to see, like, just transitioning into this kind of well-rounded fighter.
Yeah, I used to just I was at a gym, and we were mainly just kickboxers. We were doing a little bit of grappling, and then I was still trying to fight MMA. So I was having, like, a couple of weeks fight camp, but just kickboxing, and then trying to have an MMA fight. So I'd never actually been to like a proper wrestling class. Like after the jiu-jitsu, we learned off videos and then drilling with each other. So now like with Fisher, it's just we mainly do we do a lot of wrestling. I would say we're one of the best like wrestling gyms in the northeast. We just do like a hell of a lot of wrestling, like loads of scrambling, you know, from our back, so we're not just laid there in guard. And it plays a massive part in the game, you know, being able to get back to your feet and then use the kickboxing that I've learned over the past couple of years, and it's just amazing.
See, coming from like a kind of traditional striking background, what does it feel like for your first professional MMA fight to be a submission one?
Well, that was the thing with the amateurs as well. Although I was a kickboxer, I think I have like 14 wins by submission.
Yeah.
So I was winning some like fights on the ground. I was tending to just get put on my back, and I had 9 minutes to get an armbar or a triangle. It's kind of all I knew. So I've got like loads of arm bars. So yeah, well, it's good to get a submission and actually defend a takedown. Before that fight, I've never defended a takedown.
Because I was going to ask, was this camp, was it quite grappling heavy? Because I noticed it was like straight away into the fight, you landed a couple of clean right hands on him, and it was straight away Warren, sorry, it was shooting for the takedown. Is that something that you anticipated, that as soon as he's got in the air, he was going to try and get you to the ground?
Well, we watched some of his fights, and he's got like a really good top pressure, and he likes, you know, to hold you there and pound you out. So it literally was just loads of scrambling. I was getting took down back to my feet, and yeah, it was a lot of that. The only issue I had during the camp is sparring partners, because all the guys in the gym are like heavy guys. You know, there's no one under like 66.
Yeah.
So we had Nathan Hayward, who was my main one, who's a really good amateur. He's probably going to be going pro after his next amateur fight. So it was good to spar with him, but he's still, you know, 70 kilo.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping now I can, you know, travel a little bit and get some sparring in with some lighter guys.
Yeah, absolutely. What's been the biggest difference that you've noticed between amateur and pro MMA?
Definitely the 2 minutes.
Is
the
it?
extra 2 minutes, yeah, definitely. I remember doing my first freshman rounds, and I got took down, scooted back to the cage. I looked at the clock, and there was still like a minute 40 left, and I was like, fucking hell. But as the weeks progressed, I got a little better, but you definitely feel it. Definitely.
Yeah. Because outside of sparring, like, what did you have to up to kind of get your fitness to that level? Did you have to start running longer distance?
Yes. So obviously I work, so I don't have the like luxury of being able to train at the 10 o'clock session that TFT have. So I get up early on a morning run 4 times a week. So I do 1 10K, which is about 6 miles. I do 2 6Ks, which is about 3 miles. And on a Sunday I do sprints.
Yeah.
So that was a massive part of it. And as well, I was pretty heavy at the start of camp. I was like 70 kilo. So I had to do a lot of running to get the weight down.
Because I noticed that you fight at flyweight. Like, what is your main kind of way that you use to cut weight?
I start off at around 1,200 calories.
Right.
And a couple of kilo tends to come off in the first couple of weeks. So 2 to 3 weeks, I've lost, you know, probably 5 or 6 kilo, and then it slows down. Once it starts slowing down, I just drop my calories a little more. And then obviously if I start feeling a little bit weak and I can't do the training or things like that, then I up it a bit. But I tend to just, as the weeks progress, just drop my calories a little bit. It's probably not the safest way to do it, but you know, now I'm pro, it might be worth getting, you know, a nutritionist in, or, you know, someone to help me a bit more. You know, I have an idea how to do it properly rather than kind of just going hungry and training with.
Yeah, because that must be the good thing about being at Team Fish Tank as well, because you've got the likes of Callum Eleanor, who is almost a pro at weight cutting with his weight.
Yeah, he cuts a lot of weight, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's always phenomenally on point as well. So is having guys like him in the team, does that kind of lay a blueprint for you about how to kind of go about things well?
Yeah, well, they've got it harder than what I have, because I've asked Cal before about his weight, and like I'd like to gradually get mine down, and then for flyweight a week before I'll be like 61, 62.
Yeah.
But Cal, when he's a week out, I think he's still got like 12 or 13 kilo. So I like it's double, nearly triple what I have, and then he manages to cut that. So he must have a hard time in the bath in the sauna.
Oh, I can imagine. And then you've got guys like Phil de Vries and Michael Parkin who don't need to cut in.
Yeah, I've spoke to them about it as well, and like we're all miserable dieting, and they're like the happiest people ever. Like, this is why it's good being a heavyweight. We can eat. And I said to Mick, I said, oh, did you have much like weight to lose? He went, I just didn't have breakfast. So honestly, man, heavyweights must be so happy during camp.
I know, and it must just be great to be a heavyweight, but then I suppose you need to get hit by guys that weigh that amount. So
Yeah,
pros and cons.
That's why there's so many knockouts in like heavyweight fights. It's just the power of the pack's ridiculous, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Because did you feel as well, like you had 25 amateur fights, did you feel like going into your professional debut that helped you massively because you had such an extensive amount of experience?
Yeah, I think it helped me relax a bit. And loads of my fights aren't actually on Tapology. I've had like 33 fights.
Right.
So the ones, yeah, I've had loads beforehand, and then there's a couple during that haven't been updated for some reason. But I worked it out before, and I think I finished on 33.
Yeah.
So it definitely, the experience has, I think it's had an impact, and I don't think I would be as relaxed as what I was in there if it wasn't for the amateur fights.
Yeah. It's especially so early in your pro career as well, because most of the guys you'll go up against, you'll be more experienced than, which is very rare. Because it seems most guys have about maybe between 5 and 10 amateur fights before making the jump. What was it that kept you at amateur for so long?
I just knew I wasn't good enough.
Right.
Obviously, I knew that I needed to be at a better gym. And a friend of mine, Paul, who I used to train with, that's where he trained. I seen how successful he was, with his wrestling, his ground game since making the move. So I went up with him, and I've just never looked back. I love it, absolutely love it.
That's a really impressive mindset to have. Like, just to say to yourself, like, it feels sometimes that the jump can be rushed, and maybe there could be a couple of things that are ironed out. It seems that you've went the right path, and you've got the kind of maybe the mistakes that you make in your game out of the way in amateur, because then your pro record is your pro record, isn't it? That can't change.
Yeah, definitely. Well, when I went to Fishers, I actually took a pro fight against Harry Etheridge, I think he was called, on Almighty.
Yeah.
And then like I had a talk with Fisher, and like obviously Fisher's like really straightforward. He'll tell you how it is, which is what I like about him. It's like, if you're not training hard enough, he'll text you saying, look, mate, you need to pull your finger out, you're having a fight. Some coaches might not do that. So I spoke to the promoter on Almighty, and I said, I've just moved gyms, and I really don't think I'm ready to take the fight, and they were okay with it. And they found him someone else, and I was like a massive chip off my shoulder, a massive weight off my shoulder, to know that I could just still be an amateur and learn.
Yeah. Because does it help having a coach like Andrew Fisher? Because obviously Andrew Fisher is still fighting now, and you can see the level that he's fought to and everything that he's done. Is that a motivator for the students to kind of have this idol to look up to?
Yeah, definitely. Everybody looks up to him. They want to be like him, if not better. I mean, even in the gym, you're always like, all right, I want to round with Fish, and you try your hardest to beat him. I mean, we never can, but we do try. And that's a goal. I want to tap him out.
Because what was it actually drew you to MMA?
When I was about 13, I was boxing for a little bit, just at a local gym, and then obviously the MMA gym that I used to be at, I found that there, like there was a little place where people were doing it, so I just joined then and never looked back. I was an MMA fan through The Ultimate Fighter. I used to watch The Ultimate Fighter.
Oh yeah.
And that's what like got me into it.
Yeah.
Got me as a fan, not actually competing in MMA. So.
What was your favourite season of The Ultimate Fighter?
The Forrest Griffin one.
Oh, the first one. Oh, that
First
was.
one, aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Mate,
imagine.
I think it's been like I used to watch them all, and I think I've decided that's been my favourite one since I seen an interview, and obviously you might have seen it. The UFC put it on. It was like how that fight changed it for everything.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then I've watched that, and I'm like, it makes you realise, if it wasn't for that, then I probably wouldn't be having this conversation with you now, and MMA wouldn't be as big as what it is.
Is that something you would ever want to do if you got offered the opportunity to go into
Oh,
the
definitely,
fighter?
100%. I've thought about it loads. If I ever get the opportunity to do it, I'll grab it by its balls and definitely take it.
Would you be one of the guys on it that's just causing it, like a Chris Lieben?
What was that? Sorry.
Would you be one of the guys on the show that just cause absolute havoc, like a Chris Lieben?
No, I would be a nice person. I mean, if they were a bit mean to me, I'd be mean back. Like, who was that guy that was throwing eggs before? He was someone's brother. Little twat he was.
Oh, I can't remember his name actually. Aye,
Yeah, little man said he was.
aye.
I
Oh,
can't remember his name, but if it was someone like that, you'd have to just slap him, wouldn't you?
aye.
Fuck off.
It just seems it gets so tense in there. Like folks start like nearly fighting over who the last bit of milk.
Yeah, but I think that's all part of it as well. You're living with people. You're going to get on people's nerves, especially if you were matched up to fight somebody and you're at to go and have breakfast with them and things like that. You're gonna,
Yeah.
your mindset changes when you're matched against someone and you think, I'm gonna fucking kill you, even though it's just a sport. But that's the kind of stuff you think. I'm gonna beat you up, type thing.
Because see the kind of fighter's mindset, like to kind of flip that switch to go into a cage and like fight with another man or another woman. Do you feel that's something that everyone has inside them or can be trained, or do you think you kind of need to be born with that mindset?
I don't know, because my mate Paul, who fights as well, he always says, I don't know, because I'm quite nice to my opponents, and I'll talk to them, I'll shake the hand, I'll speak to them at the way, as just as if they're my friend. And he said, I don't know how you do that. When he does it, he's like the angriest man ever. Comes out to this like crazy music. It's not even singing, it's just shouting. It's like rah, rah, rah. And like he just gets really angry, and that's how he likes to be, and that's how he gets through it. He says, I don't know how he can just be nice and talk to them. So he has like he has that flip switch mindset, that helps him. And I'm just like, it is what it is. It's just a fight.
Do you have any hobbies outside MMA?
Not really. No, I used to play football before I started MMA, and MMA kind of just takes over your life. Like, you run in the morning, you go to work, train on a night. By the time I get home, because I travel to train as well, it's time for bed. Just same again the next day.
Yeah, you've no really time for it now.
I do like to go to the pub and have a night out now and then. But apart from that, it's just all I do.
Yeah. Because what is it like fighting and training like during coronavirus? Because your last amateur fight was during coronavirus, and so was your pro fight. What's that been like for you?
Obviously the pro fight, when I was training for the pro fight, we couldn't have any amateurs in the gym. It was just professionals. And that's probably why I struggled to get the sparring partners. So obviously everybody else, slightly bigger than what I was. But the amateur fight, we were just limited what we could do. We had all these rules. Like you had to like socially distance in the gym. So the preparation for my pro fight was a little bit better than the amateur fight. But I just hope this is the start of getting back to normal now. We're all back in the gym, things like that. I just hope it stays that way and we don't backtrack. For future fights.
Because was there anything that you had to do kind of mentally to prepare yourself for walking out with no crowd and kind of fighting with no crowd?
I quite enjoyed fighting without a crowd, to be honest. I mean, I do love it. When you have family and friends there, it's amazing because they're there supporting you, and then you can have a good night out after. But I don't think it was a massive difference, having no crowds, because again, it's like a kind of tunnel vision type thing.
Yeah.
And you forget about the crowds. Like, you just completely forget about them. And it's just you winning in there.
So that's kind of all we've got time for. If do you have any social medias that you want to shout out, anything like that?
No, just covered everything, mate. Thank you.
No worries, and thanks very much for your time, Robbie. It's been great. And do you have anything coming up that are you looking to get on any shows?
Well, I'm matched in October.
Oh, are you?
Against a guy that he beat me as an amateur in a title fight. It went to 5 rounds.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it'll be a good fight for me with me improved, and obviously he'll have improved as well. But I'm a different fighter to what I was then, and everything I worked on is how he beat me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
How he beat me is I don't know how to put it, but he just put me on my back and beat me up for 5 rounds. And my game now is not like as just like scramble sit. You just get up and get up and get up. Where before I didn't know how to get up. So I'll be impressed if he manages to keep me down and beat me up for 5 rounds again.
What show is that going to be on? Sorry.
Olympus and Franklin.
All right. Yeah. We'll need to keep our eyes peeled for that one. Hopefully, it's a good fight.
Yeah, definitely.
So again, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks for having me on.
See you later, guys.